Purchase as well as selling of goods and services takes place through money. So this financial services facilitates increase in transactions. So variability in the sense what? The services which is provided by the financial organization will differ from one organization to another. This financial service mainly focuses on human resource. Hello everyone, I am Harshita, lecturer, Department of Commerce, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Today we are in the first session of Unit 1, that is Introduction to Financial Service, and your subject name is Financial Management 3. Under that you are going to learn about financial service. So my dear students, in your Unit 1 you are going to learn in detail about financial service. Now we shall directly move on to the topic. Now we shall learn about introduction of financial service. In each and every organization, finance is very important. So it is called as finance is the lifeblood of the business. Finance is nothing but the money which is required in order to run the activity of the business. Right? So finance is called as what? Lifeblood of the business. So each and every activity in an organization takes place through money. Now, what led to the emergence of financial service? Before the emergence of financial service, the commercial banks and other financial institutions were dominating the field. So, the field of finance was dominated by whom? Commercial banks and other financial institutions. So, each and every organization requires finance. So, these finance were provided by commercial banks as well as other financial institutions. So, they were playing a major role in the finance field. Who? Commercial banks and financial institutions. So, these two were providing finance to the organization. So, they were fulfilling the requirement of finance of all the organization, that is commercial banks and other financial institutions. It was after the economic liberalization. So, this economic liberalization took place in the year 1990. So, after 1990, the emergence of financial service came into existence. So, financial service emerged after 1990, that is after economic liberalization, that the financial service sector gained some prominence. So, after 1990, this financial service industry gained its importance. Before that, this commercial banks and other financial institutions were providing major role, were acting as a major role by providing finance to all other organizations. So, after 1990, that is after economic liberalization, the emergence of financial service came into existence. Now, it has grown to such an extent that it is one of the largest industry today. So, which industry is the largest industry today? This finance service industry leads a major role. Now, it is one of the largest industry today in the market. So, this is about emergence of financial service. Now, what you have to remember here? So, the need of finance was fulfilled by commercial banks and other financial institutions before 1990. So, this financial service came into existence after 1990, that is after economic liberalization. Now, it has grown to such an extent that it is one of the largest industry in the country. Now, let us see what is the meaning of financial service. Financial service refers to services provided by the finance industry. So, it is called as one of the major industry only. So, it is a major industry which contains number of finance organizations which would be providing finance. So, here each and every organizations or a finance organization would be providing finance. So, it is called as what? It is an industry, finance industry. So, here finance industry contains number of organizations who would be providing finance to number of organizations. So, financial service refers to service provided by the finance industry. The finance industry consists of broad range of organizations So this I have told you, it consists of broad range of organization. There are number of organizations which is providing finance to the users. They deal with the management of money. Next, this organization includes banks. So you know about banks, it deals with money. Next, credit card companies, insurance companies, consumer finance companies, stock brokers, investment funds, and some government sponsored enterprise. So there are number of organization which deals with money. So that organization is called as what? Finance organization, and a group of finance organization is called as finance industry. Now, if you think practical, there are two kinds of people. So, there are two kinds of people. One kind is that they are going to save their money. They are having excess money and they are going to save their money. So, here what happens? Savings takes place. So, they are having excess money and they are saving their money. In the sense, savings takes place. The other type of people is that they are in need of money. They are in need of money. They are not having sufficient amount of money. They are in need of money. Now, what is the work of financial service? To mobilize the savings from the investors. So here the work of financial service is that, or the finance organization is that, they will bring the money who is having excess money. So they will bring the money from the people who is having excess money, and that amount will be given to whom? To the needy people who is not having money, who is in need of money. In the sense, the amount will be collected from the customers who is having excess money, and that amount will be used for or will be given to the needy people who is in need of money. So this is nothing but mobilize the savings of the investors. So whatever the amount which is collected from the customers or the investors, so that amount will be invested somewhere. That is, that amount will be investment of money by some other person. So this is about meaning of financial service. Next, what are the functions of financial service? Facilitating transactions. So each and every transaction takes place through money. That is, purchase as well as selling of goods and services takes place through money. So this financial services facilitates increase in transactions. That is, selling and buying of goods and services. Next, mobilize savings. So as I told, there are two type of people who is having excess of money. One kind of people who is having excess of money. So those people's money will be saved. So that amount can be bought together and that amount can be saved, and that amount will be used by some other person. Mobilize the savings. So these customers will invest their money in a productive investment. So they will give the money to this financial service industry. So that amount will be used in some other productive use. Next, allocating capital funds. So allocating capital funds in the sense, whatever the amount which is being bought from the people who are going to save their amount, so that amount will be used in allocating capital funds. So where they can yield more return. Next, monitoring managers. So each and every activities of the management will be taken by this financial service, that is relating to money. Next, transforming risk. Here, the financial service organization will take risk of both saving people as well as who is in need of money. So both type of group of people, the risk of both kind of people will be taken by whom? Financial service industries. So here the risk has been taken by both saving people as well as the people who are in need of money. That is transforming risk, reducing it through aggregation and enabling it to carry it by those more willing to bear it. Next, let us see what are the characteristics or nature of financial service. So the first one is intangibility. So what do you mean by intangibility? We can't touch service. We can just feel the service, right? if you take a product, we can touch that product, right? But whereas when compared to product, here the service is intangible in nature. We cannot touch service. We can just feel the service. Financial services are intangible. Therefore, they cannot be standardized. They cannot be standardized or reproduced in the same form. Now, if you take a product, that is car. So, if the quality of the car is less, so it can be standardized and it can be reproduced. But in service, we cannot do that. So, it can't be reproduced as well as it can't be standardized. The institutions supplying the financial service should have a better image and confidence of the customers. So, here the quality is measured in terms of confidence which is there in the customers about that particular organization. Here, like product, the service cannot be standardized or reproduced, but how the standardization can be maintained in this field? By providing quality service to the customers. Otherwise, they may not succeed. So, if the quality of services provided by financial institutions or these financial service organizations are not good, then they cannot maintain a good image in the mind of customers. They have to focus on quality and innovation of their service. Here they have to maintain quality. They can't reproduce the service, but they have to maintain quality in their service. Then only they can build a credibility and gain the trust of the customers. Here main importance has to be given to the customers and the quality of service which is provided to them. Because like any other product, we can't produce or we can't reproduce or standardize that particular service, but we have to think through the quality of the service which is provided to the customers. Next, inseparability. Here, when a goods is sold, then there is a separation between the owner of the goods as well as the goods who have purchased that, right? So there is a separation. Whereas in service, it is inseparable in nature. Both production and supply of financial service have to be performed simultaneously. Here, whereas production of goods or production of a product takes place in one place, whereas it is been sold in another place. But it cannot happen in service. So it is produced as well as it is supplied in a particular place. These two processes happens simultaneously. So both production and supply of financial services have to be performed simultaneously. So they are not separable in nature. Whereas if you take a product, so it is produced in one place, whereas it is sold in another place, right? Whereas in service, this production and supply of service takes place simultaneously. So they cannot be separated. Hence, there should be perfect understanding between the financial service institutions and its customers. So if they don't have proper relation between this institution as well as customers, it is very difficult to sustain in the market. So this is about inseparability. Next, perishability. So perishability means what? Like other service, financial service also required to match between demand and supply. So here, if you take a product, so it can be stored for a longer period of time, right? Whereas here, depending upon the demand and supply, the services has to be provided. Services cannot be stored. Here, as I told, service is intangible in nature, so it cannot be stored, right? So here, demand and supply takes place simultaneously. So whenever an organization wants financial service, then it has to be provided immediately. So we can't store that and we can't give for the next year, right? So it has to happen simultaneously. They have to be supplied when customers need them. When actual customers needs the financial service, it has to be provided immediately. So there is no postpone of this service. Next, variability. In order to cater a variety of financial and related needs of different customers. So there are number of customers and their need and preference are totally different, right? So, here the services which is provided by the finance organization will also differ from one organization to another organization. So, variability in the sense what? The services which is provided by the financial organization will differ from one organization to another. So, in order to cater a variety of financial and other related need of different customers in different areas, financial service organization have to offer a wide range of product and service. So what they have to do? Each and every organization's service differs from one organization to another. This means that financial service have to be tailor-made to the requirement of the customers. So we cannot give same kind of service to all the customers. So depending upon the requirement of the customers, financial service organization has to fulfill their needs. The service institution differentiate their service to develop the individual identity. So what happens here? In the financial organization itself, in the finance industry itself, so there are a number of organizations, right? So in order to attract the customer, these organizations will come with new innovative services so that it will attract the customers. So that is about variability. Next, dominance of human element. Here, machinery cannot be used in order to provide service. Here, human plays a very important role. Financial services are dominated by human element. In the sense, humans are given very important in financial service. Thus, financial services are labor intensive. So here, labor intensive in the sense, human resource. Next, it requires competent and skilled personnel to market the quality financial product. So as I told, so in order to attract the customers, these organizations have to go with innovative service. So in order to go with innovative service, they should need qualified personnel in an organization. So it gives more importance for human resource rather than machines. Next, information based. These services which is given by financial organization are all about information based. So there is no physical existence here. So it is all about information what they are going to give to their customers. So financial service industry, it is a information based industry. Here the importance is given to the information of each organization what they are going to provide to the service or what they are going to provide to the customers. It involves creation, dissemination and use of information. How each and every organizations are going to create new information and how they are going to communicate that information to the users. So that is important. So it's not that creating and just keeping in the organization. So it is creating and how they are going to communicate to the ultimate users of financial service. Next, use of information. Information is an essential component in the production of financial service. So here information plays a very important role. So there is no physical existence like other products. So here financial service is nothing but what the information or what the financial information what they are going to give to their customers in correct time. So that is information based. Now we shall see importance of financial service. So what would be the importance of financial service? So the first one is economic growth. So this financial service leads to economic growth in the country. So how the financial service industry mobilize the savings of the people. So this I have told you, mobilize the savings of the people. As I told, there are two groups of people. One is who is having excess money and they are going to save their money. Whereas other people who are not having sufficient amount of money and they are in need of money. So this financial service institutions, what they will do, they will bring that money from the saving people and they will give to this needy people. So they will mobilize the savings of the people and channels them into productive investment. So they will bring that money and they will be used for productive investment by providing various services to people in general and corporate enterprises in particular. So their mainly focus is on corporate enterprises where they are going to invest in the productive investment. In short, the economic growth of any country depends upon the savings and investment. So, how wisely they are going to save and how wisely they are going to invest in more profitable venture. So, that is more important for the economic growth of the country. So, here economic growth. So, how financial service leads to economic growth? So, it brings the amount from the people who are going to save, and that amount will be invested in most profitable venture. So, always the development of the economy depends upon the savings as well as investment. And the second one is promotion of savings. So, this I have already told you. So, it promotes savings of the people who is having excess amount of money. The financial service industry mobilizes the savings of the people by providing transformation service. So, transformation means what? This ideal amount which is left in the hands of saving people will be utilized for the benefit of investment. So, it provides liability, asset and size transformation service by providing huge loan. Now, as I told, the amount which is bought by the people who is having excess amount of money will be given to the needy people in the form of loan. So, loan from small deposits collected from large number of people. So, here large number of people is nothing but they are saving people who wants to save. So, when they deposit money in the financial organization, so they will get interest. Of course, their savings increases, whereas in other hand, what happens? This amount will be invested in profitable venture. So, this amount will be given to the organization in the form of loan. So, that will be used for the profitable venture. In this way, financial service industry promotes savings. So, it helps in the savings of number of individuals who wants to save their money because they will get interest also. Next, capital formation. So, how this financial service leads to capital formation of the organization? Financial service industry facilitates capital formation by rendering various capital market intermediary service. So, it acts as an intermediary between two kind of people, that is saving people as well as the people who are in need of money. So, it helps in the capital formation because it acts as an intermediary between two group of people. Capital formation is very important for the basis of economic growth. Thereby, when the capital increases in the economy, of course, economic growth also improves. So, it leads to economic growth of the country. Next, creation of employment opportunity. As I told, this financial service mainly focuses on human resource. So, it needs personnel who is very qualified as well as experienced, right? Because it mainly focuses on the information that has to be given to the users. So, in order to create that information, so there should be a creative personnel. So, it leads to employment generation. So, the financial service industry creates and provides employment opportunities. So, to whom? To millions of people all over the world, because it mainly focuses on information. So, in order to provide quality information, so there should be a creative personnel in that field. So, it leads to millions of employment opportunities. Next, contribution of GNP. It is recently the contribution of financial services to GNP has been increasing year after year in almost countries. So, as I told, now it is one of the topmost industry in the country. So, it is one of the topmost industry not only in the country, in the world. So, it leads to contribution to GNP, that is nothing but gross national product. And the next importance is provision of liquidity. So, what do you mean by liquidity? Conversion of financial assets into cash. So, how this financial services helps in the conversion of financial assets into cash? Because it brings the savings of the investors and it helps in investing in profitable ventures. So, as I told, there are two group of people who are willing to save on the one hand, whereas who are in need of money on the other hand. So they will bring the amount from this saving people. So that amount will be invested in the profitable ventures. So there will be easy conversion of financial assets into liquid cash. So the financial assets of the people can be converted easily into liquid cash by this financial service. So what I'm going to discuss in my next session, that is contribution of financial services in promoting industry and service. So what are the financial services that promote industry and service in the economy? So how it leads to development of economy? What is the contribution of financial service in the field of economy? So my dear students, in today's session, we had a brief introduction about financial service. In my next session, I'm going to continue with a new topic. See you all in my next session. Till then, take care. Thank you.